Okay. Hey, come over here. Come on sideways. Right here.
That's where it looks good.
All right. There we go. All right, get started here. Sorry, getting some camera stuff squared away. What we got here, because I've got a little lag. I've got a laptop set over here just so I can see questions. I'll talk about what I'm shooting this Saturday in a little bit, because it may change. But anyway, welcome everybody. Again, trying to get the comms part sorted out here. So, let's see. Somebody give me a thumb. Make sure that I'm up comms wise, if you would. Okay, cool. All right, we'll start. Sorry, I've got my laptop set up so I can see questions that you guys ask. So, talk about what I talked about, or what I put on the post. First thing, talk about getting started in USPSA. Strangely enough, I've had a bunch of people ask me about that, how to get started. Wrong way. And it's pretty simple, but I would say the first thing that you need to do is, more than likely, just go watch a match. If you really want to get involved in it, just go watch a match. Go down and just watch. Hopefully you got a friend or something like that shoots it. You don't even have to go shoot it the first time. Just go see what goes on. Okay, watch, listen, see how they see what the vibe is, right? And if you have a friend, and this is like, especially coppers out there, there's always somebody in your department that shoots. I know a couple. Like, I'm going out to California to shoot. There's a bunch of guys out there that shoot. A lot of guys in a lot of departments. But if you're just a regular civilian and you know somebody that shoots, go out and just watch a match. What I've done with people before is I'll go to the range with them, and I'll work on managing the gun in the 180, making sure they're within the 180. Okay, it's simple, but it's critical, because if you screwed up in your first stage, you end up getting DQ'd. And so you wasted your money, you wasted your time, and then you're discouraged and blah, 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 and all the rest. So just moving with the gun and maintaining it in the 180, I'll work on that with them. And you could do that with a freaking squirt gun in your backyard, truthfully. Just establish what a 180 is and just keep the gun within the 180 no matter how you move. You turn around the gun, turn away from the gun. I can't explain it on here because I'm a freaking IG Live. But making sure that you can maintain the gun within the 180 with your finger off the trigger. Just the basic safety protocols for USPSA are things that you can want to practice. The next thing is, if you've got a friend that shoots, and I did this with my wife before she went to shoot matches, is give all the range commands from start to finish. Shooter, if you understand the course of fire, load and make ready. And then once they've loaded and made ready, shooter indicates ready, shooter stand by, beep, go through the whole stage. If you're finished, unload and show clear. Unload and show clear. Slide forward, hammer down, holster, line is cold. Go through all the commands so that they're not listening to the RO trying to figure out what they want. They're listening for the command that they know is already coming. It's a little thing, but it's a big thing, because then it takes away all the stress. I know that I'm going to step to the line, and I'm going to wait for you to say, if you understand the course of fire, load and make ready. So just stand there, wait for him. When he says it, however rapidly he says it, or slowly, or with southern drawl, or whatever, you know what to expect. You load your gun. When it's all done, you're going to stop. He's going to say, if you're finished, unload, show clear. You're going to clear your gun. You're going to show that it's clear. Then he's going to go slide forward, hammer down, holster. Once you put it in the holster, he's going to say the line is cold, and then you're good. Okay, so like little simple stuff like that. make sure your gun handling is on point. Make sure that you can load your gun and reload your gun, and you know how to clear malfunctions, and you don't lose your mind when you do it. You don't lose spatial awareness, start turning around going, oh, what am I doing? These are simple things, but they're, before you go to the match, if you know what the commands are going to be and if you can run your gun properly within the 180, you're going to have a good time, okay? And nobody really gives a damn how you shot. They're happy you're there. I've never been in a match where people made fun of a stranger because they didn't do well, okay? I've been to matches where we make fun of each other when we screw up, and that's cool because we know each other and that's part of the game. But nobody is going to bust your stones if you go there and you don't do great. They're happy you're there. They're going to try and give you pointers, help you out, whatever. But so don't worry about that. Now, some people wonder, like, what do I need? Like, what kind of equipment? Okay, so I'm going to show you. I made master class in limited 10 in production, basically with a gun belt, almost exactly like this. 3 Black Hawk pouches, universal double stack pouches, a field belt, and a holster with a tech lock attachment, almost identical. This whole thing minus this is $131. Okay, with all the pouches, with the holster, with the belt, everything. Okay, and that's not that much. And I ordered it on Amazon and had it in a day. I got it specifically for this live. Okay, I hooked it up. Here's an old freaking Glock 17 made out of parts. It was a Glock 22 that I bought from AIM Surplus as a dealer trade-in for like $299. Gutted it and put all 9mm parts in it. It's an old Lone Wolf slide, and then it's a one of the barrels I got from AIM Surplus. But it shoots like a freaking like a boss. I pulled these Dawson adjustable sights off another old Glock 40 caliber that I had. It was a 22, and so I built a 9mm out of it. It cost me like freaking $400. Right now, AIM Surplus has trade-in Glock 17s for like $399. But anyway, so you're talking about, let's say that this belt was $131 and $399 for a Glock 19 from AIM. Okay, so that's $530. If you put an optic on it, okay, you can get an inexpensive optic to put on there from HoloSen or a Siley or something like that. Now you're looking at $750. Let's say you pay $250 because it doesn't have an optics cut. You have a cut for $1,000. You got a gun belt, a gun, and an optic. I mean, it's like, and the reason I say that is I did it just because it didn't make a difference to me. It shot well. I wasn't as discriminating about what I wanted equipment wise. Now, as you get further along, you're going to see somebody at a match. You're going to see somebody shooting on Instagram and go, oh, freaking, Christian Sailor uses this kind of belt, or freaking JJ Rakaza uses this, or, I saw, Ben Steger shooting this or whatever. And then you can research it. I'm sure you can message these people, or, you can message me if there's something that you saw me doing, and I would respond to it. And then you start getting equipment tips, but you actually know what you want and know what you like. And if you go to a match and somebody has some kind of Gucci kit and you ask them why they like it, they want to tell you. I mean, when people ask me why my gun belt's set up the way it is, I tell them. I'm like, hey, I like it for this reason, this reason, this reason. And so once you've got a base of knowledge, you can safely maneuver through the courses. Okay, you can move through the courses, stay within the 180, finger off the trigger. You don't do any kooky stuff. Okay, that the learning process is it's beginning. Okay, and then like I've said before, your matches become part of your feedback loop. I go to the range and I practice, I dry fire, and then I go to a match and go, okay, what did it look like? What did I think I was really good at, or think I was good at that I wasn't good at, and what did I think that I wasn't good at that I turned out to be actually pretty good at? Okay, so as you push through that, as you push through those matches and the learning curve, then you start to go, okay, this is the kind of equipment I want, and then you go, picking my homeboy here, then you go to old Ben Steger Pro Shop and you get a link belt and you get sideways pouches and you get a cool ANR design freaking holster and a boss hanger and a Glock 47 and all that cool stuff with an SRO. But get that once you actually know that you're gonna like that. You may want to get a PDP. You may want to get a staccato. Who knows what, man? You may want to get a Canic. I don't know. I've shot Canics for a while. But you'll be a more discriminating purchaser and you won't buy things twice. Okay, so getting started USPSA is easy. Go to the site. You can go to PCSL. You can go to USPSA. I've never shot IDPA, so I know how it's done. I mean, I know how you set it all up. It's going to their site and shooting it. Whatever discipline you want. I'm a fan of taking anything tactical out of it because it's a sport. It's a shooting competition. So I'm a huge fan of PCSL and USPSA. I like PCSL because it's much more physical. There's a lot of running and stuff. It's a very aggressive sport, and you can shoot PCCs, you can shoot rifles, you can shoot pistols, which I think that's why I'm a big fan of PCSL. I've shot USPSA for a long time. I really enjoy it, but it's definitely either one is definitely a great way to go. If you're going to start out shooting just pistol, then either one is going to be fine. I'll answer some questions that I got. Let's see. I actually typed them out so that you'll see them. Right. Shooting skills practice for a match. Talked about that. Gun handling skills, keeping the gun within the 180. Okay. Here's one. Match performance. This is from Will. Match performance differences between OWB comp gun and IWB micro gun. Okay. My first shot, my draw is going to be a little faster. Not a ton faster, but it'll be a little bit faster. Coming out of my sport rig. My split times are noticeable between a Glock 47 or I'm shooting my competition gun is a Zev gun. That 47 is like my LE gun. But if I'm shooting my Zev, my OZ9, the difference between that and a 43X is a lot. Like it's a lot. It's noticeable in recoil. The shooting piece is all the same. My split times are slower with a 43X or a 48, and but my target transitions are just as fast. But you get eaten up on split times. Your split times almost double. They really do, especially at longer targets. Shorter targets, you can hammer it. You can get after it. But on longer targets, it slows you down a fair amount. And the size of the window, you start looking through a little. I mean, this is actually a pretty good size. This is one of those O-sight rechargeable ones. I like the sight. The battery life, I'm still kind of on the ledge about. I got to figure it out. But window size is important. The smaller window optics and the smaller guns, you're more prone to have a poor presentation or an imperfect presentation. And if you have a really small optic on it, that makes it a little harder. So I think the performance is based on recoil management for the most part. So you can take that with whatever grain of salt you want. Going from C to B class, biggest issues. If your accuracy is good, which accuracy is important, obviously it's important in a USPSA match, but when you're trying to make those bumps from C to B class or B to A class especially, or A to master, it's speed. You've got to go faster. You've got to push yourself to go faster when you train. That's going to be huge, and that's something that all of us, everybody resists initially because you don't want to throw slop all over the target and be like, whoa, that's me. That's what I do. But you have to train at the fringes of control, and so it's the only way to get better at that sport is to shoot faster than you're comfortable shooting and let the accuracy catch up. You're never going to shoot at the level of accuracy you want and get faster speed wise. You never will, never. Okay, so you've got to be willing to shoot super aggressive. And I'm not the sage on this. People have been saying this for a long time. You hear it all the time. Like I said, the usual suspects, Ben Steger or Matt Pranka, all these guys, they all say the same thing, and it's the truth. You don't, the principle is you don't get faster at running by running slower. You get faster by doing sprints, okay? So you've got to push yourself hard. If you're going from C to B, it's about, that's going to be a big shift. Going from C to B or B to A is going to be a big shift in speed, okay? So I would look at pushing yourself in that regard, and a lot of dry fire, a lot of gun handling. You got to take every bit of time back from your gun handling that you can. All your reloads, your draws, your target transitions, all that stuff you can practice in dry fire. Practice it. Work your vision really hard. Let's see. Have you had any issues with the EPS carry? I have had no issues whatsoever with the EPS carry. My partner Pat Dean from Long Beach, PD, he's been shooting the crap out of his for a long time. Works fine. So I haven't had any issues. So I've got an EPS carry. I've got 2 EPS carries, and I've got 2 EPSs, none of which have given me any static whatsoever. So that's my 2 cents on that. Okay, let's see if I can get this in here. Okay, so I'll jump back and forth because I saw a. Yeah, I try to stay out of the politics on the PCSL USPSA, but it is what it is. C365 instead of G43X, size to capacity ratio seems the best, but curious. You roll with what you roll with. You can get 12 rounds or you can get 15 rounds. The different 365 guns, there's a bunch of them, from the smallest, tiniest one. My wife's got one of the real little ones that she's had for a long time that I put a comp on, but that's like a 12 round flush fit magazine or something like that, or 10 round flush fit. My 43X has 15+1 with either Palmetto State Armory mags and a standard mag release, or Shield magazines, which is what I run, a steel mag release. So there's really 6 of one, half dozen the other, man. If you're down with the 365, if you like the way it runs, the biggest advantage that I've seen has been, I think the biggest advantage that I've seen is the trigger. 365 had pretty damn good triggers out of the box, I have to admit. I gotta mess around with this Jimmy to get a decent trigger. It's takes a little bit of work, but so that's my thing on the 365 versus the 43X. I mean, Vetty shot hers. She shot thousands of rounds. I mean, since she came out here to Salt Lake a couple of years ago, I mean, she's probably shot 6,000-7,000 rounds through it. Not an issue. So I don't think it's ever going to be an issue. G40 shit, yeah. It's just a little bit further. Yeah, somebody asked me about G48 versus a 43X. It shoots a little better than a 43X. A Glock 48 does not shoot as good as a Glock 19. That's a fact. I just taught a class this past weekend, and I shot it with the Glock 19, and it was like cheating to me. It was like so much easier. So that's where there's a difference. Yeah, okay, I see fused magazines at 21 round capacity. Now you're getting into a full size gun. Now you're making the grip so big. The grip is the hardest part. This is from Guller Mach 1. When you start getting a 21 round subcompact gun, all you're doing is making a skinny, super skinny full size gun. And you might as well just carry a full size gun. I mean, at that point, because the grip is harder to hide than the girth of the gun. All right. So see. Yeah, if you look at Alpha Foxtrot, a G19 is easier to shoot rapidly than a 48. It's not necessarily better. Okay, I would rather carry a Glock 48. Okay, if I want to shoot 17 splits, I'm going to carry a Glock 19, but I don't need to shoot 17 splits. I can shoot 22 splits with a Glock 48 and have a way smaller gun. So just, that's my thing. I look at for the task that I'm carrying it. What do you call it? It does the job better. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we'll keep pushing down. 48's better. Okay, practice how you play. Okay, that was I think it's like kind of the trains you fight, or like I'm not sure that I completely understood the question. It's like, at what point do you draw the line between practicing how you play? All I'm practicing when I shoot competitively, okay, is marksmanship. That's the only thing I'm practicing. I'm not practicing tactics. And when people start to put a tactical spin on things, that becomes very subjective. That's why I don't shoot, IDPA. Okay, maybe it's changed, but the last I saw it was like the retaining magazines and using cover and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't really care about your appreciation of tactics. I just want to shoot. I just want to go shoot guns. I want to run around like a freaking savage and shoot guns in a safe manner, mind you. But I just want to go shoot fast, or as fast as I can shoot, and be safe. That's it. I don't need to retain magazines, and I'll worry about that. Okay. When you start doing that, you're starting to input tactics into the marksmanship piece, and we're just working on marksmanship. So that's why I haven't been a fan. So practicing a play, I'm going to practice, and I'm going to practice how I play. I'm going to shoot exactly how I shoot. Like the shooting piece, once it starts, is something different if you look at it from a combative point of view. Once you start shooting fast, it's shooting fast and accurate. That's it. That's the end of the debate ends there. We're done talking about the shooting piece. It's how you apply that. Okay, that's what's important. So I got asked about carrying. Do I carry a full-size gun in the winter months? In the winter months, it's easier to carry whatever I want. And if I'm doing something, if I'm doing like what usually happens if I'm doing an LE class and I've been shooting my Glock 47 or something like that a bunch, or I've been shooting a staccato a bunch, and it's wintertime and it doesn't matter, it's freaking cold out here, and I wear a hoodie and jeans and boots everywhere, I'll carry whatever gun I've been training on, I will carry. A lot of classes I've been teaching with either a 43X or a 48. I've been shooting matches with a 48. I'm on the fence about shooting a 43X or shooting my gun belt that I bought on Amazon for $131 and an old beat up freaking Glock just to show what I'm talking about. Like, hey man, you don't need a bunch of fancy shit, just get out there and shoot. But for the most part, I carry whatever I'm training on so that I'm not training on one gun and then carrying another gun. I think that's a bad freaking idea. Another one, stock question. I'm trying to catch any questions in between. That's why I'm looking at the computer, seeing what people are putting up. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. Trying to see what we got. Okay, or said yeah. I'll probably shoot on that weekend class. I'll probably shoot a 43X. Okay, I'm just trying to scroll down and see, make sure I don't miss anything here and there. I could get away. I mean, Chang, if you got the right holster, yeah, I can carry it. I can carry a freaking Glock 34. I can carry even my, just a shade under 5'9" and 185 pounds. I can carry a Glock 17, no problem. It's that it's not as comfortable as carrying a Glock 43X or a Glock 48. I don't have to work around it at all. And there's no way to carry a gun that big and not have to be concerned about printing when you can carry a 43X or 48. And I'm not concerned about printing. And I still got 15+1 or 17+1 with a +2 floor plate. So I'm just not, and I shoot it fine. I have no problem shooting a 43X or 48, and I'm willing to bet my life on it. So it is what it is. For me, I'll carry a compensated 43X or an uncompensated 48 year round. All right. I got asked about triggers for Glock, stock trigger or an aftermarket trigger. If you're going to carry the gun, I've got Glock triggers. I've got a Glock trigger in my 43X from Glock Triggers. I've got a Johnny Glock trigger. I've got an Apex trigger on a 43X. Just all I would say is if you get a Terran Tactical, the spring kit, they've got the little spring that's inside the trigger group, and they have a striker block spring. Replace those two and put a reduced angle, the connector that has a different geometric angle for the trigger bar, and it makes a massive difference. And you don't need to really do that much. That's kind of the beauty of a Glock. You change a couple springs in a connector, and you got a pretty damn good trigger. So, like I said, I've got Glock triggers, like them a lot. Johnny Glock, like them a lot. Apex, like them a lot. For a carry gun, I've got a bunch of Timneys, but I wouldn't put a Timney necessarily in a carry gun. I just think it's more of a sport trigger. For carrying, I got asked about left-handed bandit, about what I carry. I carry 15+1. I got a shield magazine and a 43X that's compensated, or a 48 with 15+1. Okay. So I got asked about shooting. About shooting concealed with a full-size gun. I only shoot concealed in matches with a micro. That's all I shoot. I don't shoot concealment with a full-size gun. Isn't any more difficult than shooting my regular sport gun. And most of the people shooting concealment and most of the classes I see are shooting full competition carry optic guns from concealment, which is like, it's supposed to be like some sort of flex, but it's not. It's not. I mean, if I can draw, most stages start in a place where you don't get to do a sub-second draw, even if that's the case. And it's like, what do you get? You get, I'm doing consistent, under control 115s. I can do sub-second draws with a 43X. I did it a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, or whatever, on video, showed it as part of a string of fire, not as one shot. It's like, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. What makes more of a difference is your ability to control the gun. Now that said, if you're shooting a full-size gun, if you're shooting a legit carry optics gun, and you're shooting it from concealment, to me it's like, whatever, bro, got it, big thumb. It's not, because I shot 2 weekends ago in California. I'll shoot this weekend in California from concealment with a 43X. The getting the gun from concealment and the reloading from concealment, if your stage strategy is good, it makes no difference. I was never slowed down because it took me longer to reload, 3 weeks ago in California, shooting a 48. It didn't slow me down. What slowed me down is it's a little tiny ass gun with full power ammo, and it's a lot harder to shoot at the pace that I want to shoot it at. But shooting a full-size gun, to me, if I want to shoot a full-size gun, then I'm just going to shoot it from the sport rig. Okay? let's say new shooter single. Okay, new shooter single most important thing to develop. Brandon, just don't break the 180. Make sure that you're not breaking the 180 because that'll get you disqualified. And the safety part of it. Don't break the 180. Don't have your finger on the trigger when you're not engaging. That's all. Those two things, and you'll be able to work your way through all the other stuff and truthfully figure out what you need on your own. Gun handling skills are going to be good. Stage strategy is important. All that. First thing you got to do is get through a match without getting DQ'd, which is not hard at all. But just do that, and you will learn so much in the first match. And then once you get an understanding of it, your second match and third match, well, you'll learn 2 or 3 times as much on those matches than you did in your first match. You'll start figuring out how you do stage strategy. You'll be a lot more comfortable moving with the gun and all the rest. So big thing is get through the first few matches, no drama. Don't try to go super fast. Make sure that you understand what you're doing. And then as your knowledge base builds, then put the spurs to it. Thoughts on Bodyguard 2.0? Somebody asked me about that. It's a little 380. It's a little gun, and it shoots soft, and it's like, I don't know. If I'm walking around and I have a 380, I don't feel like I'm carrying a squirt gun. A lot of people talk smack like, oh, 380, it's this, it's that. It's like, bro, stand at 15 yards, let me shoot you with a friggin' 380. See how it feels. See how much you like that. Okay? It's 9x17. A Makarov is only 9x18, and people getting smoked with those for quite a while. Trust me on that one. So it's like the idea, oh, it's a 380. Hey, man, if it's there, if you'll actually carry it, and it's accessible, and you can shoot it well, I would rather that than you not carry a gun or have a gun that you suck with and you're squirting bullets all over freaking wherever. So, so like the size savings with it and the shootability with it, I think are probably pretty good. The one that I saw, I don't have one. The one that I was handling didn't have any kind of dot on it, but anything now I put a dot on. I wouldn't have a carry gun. I wouldn't have a carry gun that didn't have a dot on it. Period. I'll just say that. There's no reason. Yeah, I can carry a gun that has iron sights, and I have. And if I'm teaching a class to an organization, which strangely enough, there are a couple of federal agencies that up until a year ago didn't have dots. I taught the class with iron sights, and so I shot with iron sights. And I will not carry a gun that is markedly different from what I'm training on. So I carried iron sights for a couple of weeks. It is what it is. It's not a big deal. I mean, I can shoot them fine. If you're going to carry iron sights, make sure you know how to shoot target focus with iron sights because that's a huge benefit. Ace VR dry fire thoughts. I understand the system. I haven't used it, but I've done for a completely different purpose. I've done a bunch of VR stuff for TBI, actually for TBI rehab, and it's pretty freaking amazing. And the stuff that I was doing wasn't supposed to be for shooting, but I could totally adapt it. Long story, but anyway, the things that they had me doing for spatial orientation and balance and all that, where I could see the application and then looking at, I've seen like video of people, shooting on them, what they're doing and what they're seeing. I saw a video of Michelle Viscusi, like wearing it and zooming around shooting it, and then what she actually sees. I think it's freaking great. I mean, your brain doesn't know the difference. It's aligning things with your vision. You're getting training out of it. It is a higher level of dry fire, I'd say. So that's all the questions. I'm going to scroll up and down and see what I missed. Okay. In summer, this is from Redson. In summer or at the gym, how do you typically carry a gun belt underneath shorts? There is a company called Arrowhead that makes shorts that you can put a belt inside of it. It comes with a belt, and I've done it with a Tenicor or Zero belt as well. And they will absolutely hold up a gun. They'll hold up a full-size gun. When I do that, I'll run a smaller, like a 43X, and you could do deadlifts with it. You wouldn't even see it. It's yeah. Those are the only ones that I know of that you can really do because they're built. The elastic in the waistband is built. What do you call it? It's built to carry a gun. So, yeah. That said, shoot me a DM on that, and I'll let you know. So I'll give you the specs on that, on those shorts that I have. Anyway, let's see. Cam, do you have a recommended mag extension for my Glock 48 to get more rounds for carry? I am using Shield magazines, and I have Shield +2 floor plates, and they are 100% reliable. I've got 17+1, so I've basically got the same capacity as a Glock 17. I have +5 and +10 floor plates. +5 floor plates I use on magazines that I shoot when I shoot a 43X or a 48 in competition, I use +5 floor plates, so I got 20 rounds and 20 +1. They work perfectly good. And I've got +10 floor plates on magazines when I eventually shoot open division with my little compensated 43X. I've got +10 floor plates that gives me 25 rounds, and they all work fine. Every single time I go to the range, I load them to capacity and shoot them, and they work every single time. So I've got +2s, +5s, +10s, all mounted onto 15-round bodies, and they work great. They come with a different spring and all that. When you get them, you get a different spring for it. I've had zero issues with them in 43 to 3 43Xs and a 48, which I've got some kit guns with SCT frames and all, but I've got a 43X pure, I've got a 43X chop from Shield, I've got a 48 pure, and then I've got an SCT, and I've got like 4 slides. So I have not had a single, with any of those, I've not had a single problem with the +2s, the +5s, or the +10s. Okay, so they're freaking good to go. I don't know, Matt 5301. I don't know if you can reload from a pocket. I would think you could, but I have no idea, to be honest with you. I have some little pouches, because I'm not a pocket load guy, and I'm like, if I'm shooting a USPSA match, I realize it's like I'm trying to shoot the freaking match. Like, yeah, I'm not shooting a true competition gun. I'm shooting a little freaking tiny ass. I'm shooting that. That's what I'm shooting. Okay, but I just throw little cheap mag pouches on, or I've got, actually what I use is a Tenacor mag pouches, because I'm using a Tenacor holster. But yeah, I'd have to check on that. I don't really know, honestly. Okay. Let's see. Experiment with lighter recoil springs on the mini. I haven't. Let's say lighter recoil springs. P. Chang, he's asking if experiment with lighter recoil springs on the micro 9mm. I have gotten reduced power 43X springs from the Glock store that I put in. It's a extra like ounce of tungsten. It's a captured guide rod. The whole setup. I probably have this gun. Yep. Come on. There we go. That's it right there. It's got a little bit of extra weight, and it's an extra ounce. Okay. But it's a 15 pound, not a 17 pound. So, and I like the way it runs. I like the way it runs. And I don't think that you need 17 pounds in a 9mm. I mean, when I was shooting production, shooting a CZ75 and an SP01 Shadow and then a Shadow 2, I'm running like an 11 or 12 pound recoil spring in that. And the guns, and I shot the crap out of them, and I've never broken anything. So 17 is a bit much. They're kind of oversprung. The problem that I run into is like on the Canucks, I can't get reduced power recoil springs for my wife's guns, because she's got an MC9 and an MC9 LS, the long slide version, and they're really heavily sprung, and I don't think it's necessary. And I've had, when I've cut springs back on every gun that I've had that I could cut springs back on, that's a 9mm, I've cut springs back on. I've never had a single gun break. Look at me, pimping a PCSL. All right, so I like Logan Weiler. How do you like the O sight? I like this O sight. I actually really like it. It's super clean glass. It's a really crisp dot. The adjustments are correct. Like, oh, I like it. I just am still trying to figure out the whole battery life. It's just always rechargeable stuff. I always worry about that. And it's like, but I like the dot. I mean, I'm gonna keep shooting it. It's not gonna break. I mean, I had I don't know how many thousand rounds on it now. I've shot the crap out of it. And what I'm shooting now is full power, 147 grain Winchester white box. So it's that gun lets me know that it's got full power ammo on it. That's for sure. But I haven't had any issues with breakage. I haven't had zero shift. I haven't had anything. So I have zero issues. I'm using I am using Gracious Defender. I'm using the Cat on my 48. I'm using the Cat Pro with the single dot, no multiple reticle. I found that with the multiple reticles, when the sun hits it, you'll see the outline, a ghost outline of the screen and of the other reticles, the tick marks and all that. I do not like optics that have multiple reticles. I want a freaking dot. You don't need anything in the window. You don't need multiple reticles. You don't need circles with dots and circles and more shit. No. I mean, if you're talking about a rifle, like an EOTech optic, I've used those. If you use a 65 minute of angle circle, if you range something, like a person, let's say for instance, if I were in Iraq, for instance, if I range someone and I put their head at the top and their feet at the bottom, they're at about 100. 65 minutes is about 65 inches, give or take. I know he's about at 100. If I put the bottom of the circle at his feet and the dot on top of his head, he's at about 200. So it gives me a rough estimate that's pretty damn close. I mean, I've done it and I was within 25 yards every time. So that was fine for me. Redson. Yeah, Redson. I just saw your response to Brandon. Yeah, if you train on a full size gun, I'm doing that with the wife now, going back and forth between a full size and a compact. What you learn with a full size gun is how fast you can go, and you're teaching your vision to go faster. Okay. I go back and forth between full-size guns and micros because I don't want to get slower because I can't shoot the gun as fast as I want to. Okay, this gun right here, I could bang. This is just a 47 with a 15-pound recoil spring and a tungsten weight in the front and a little brass in the back, and it's got a a 10-inch trigger in it. I could bang, 15, 16, 17 splits with this thing like a boss. I ain't banging no freaking 15 splits out of this thing. At least I could probably do it, but I'm not really sure where the bullet's going to go. You guys will feel me on that? Like you start to slow down because you've got to control the gun. And so I go back and forth to my freaking go faster gun because I don't want to get slowed. If you only have one gun, train with what you got, okay? And it teaches you a lot about shooting. Like I said, on the micros, I've learned a ton. When I pick up this gun after shooting a micro, after shooting my 43X, I'm like, geez, man, I can't believe that. I can't believe that gun ever broke my grip ever in my whole freaking life. Like you're literally talking about a gun that's twice as heavy with the same cartridge with twice the surface area to hold on to. It's like cheating. When I shot my 19 this past weekend, I hadn't shot anything but a micro for I don't know how many months. Fuck, been a while. And picking up that 19, I was like, holy crap, it's so easy. So freaking easy. Okay, yeah. EOTech work decently with astigmatism better than standard red dots. It's just a blob. I don't even care if it's that clear, but yeah, if that's the case. I mean, I have a mild astigmatism in this eye. Fortunately, I don't in this eye. I'm just kidding. See if I missed anything else. I'm answering questions. Do you like the Staccato HD? Yeah, it's a good gun. It shoots differently than the other Staccatos. It feels different. It's got the recoil system's a little different. The recoil impulse is a little different. Slide weight. It shoots good. I mean, it's crazy fucking accurate. And obviously, I mean, I know the testing that thing went through. Like, if there was ever a bomb-proof gun, it's the freaking HT. Like, honestly, like the testing that thing went through was impressive to say the least. And so, like the whole idea. The reason I'm looking down is I'm looking at the screen at the question, so I'm not just being a weirdo. The amount of punishment that gun can take, I think, is probably off the charts. It is engineered. It is as American as an American thing can be. It is like over-engineered like a mug. Truth be told, my favorite Staccato to shoot, absolute favorite Staccato to shoot, is the new Model C with the external extractor of the 4-inch gun. I freaking love that thing. I just love that gun. That is my favorite gun. And I would say I don't know why, it just fits the grip, all of it. I dig it. So anyway, that's me. They all shoot very comparably on the legacy. I call it the legacy guns, the more traditional 2011 designs. The HD just has a different feel to it. It's not better, worse, or anything. It's just a little different. The impulse is a little different. It shoots soft. It shoots really soft, but it's just the impulse is different. You got to shoot it. You got to shoot it. And having shot 2011s for a long time with a lot of rounds through them, I notice it. And when I pick it up, it doesn't quite recoil like I expect. But it's just I haven't put enough. I only put a few thousand rounds through it, and I've been shooting little striker fired polymer guns. So what the fuck do I know? But I will say this: the magazine well, this little step in the back, the mag well on it for reloads is freaking money, dude. You don't like. I remember looking at it going, wow, you can't put a mag well on it. And then I started doing reloads. I'm like, who would? Why would you put a mag well on it? Even if you're shooting limited with that gun, when the 4.5 comes out and you want to shoot limited with it, you don't need a mag well. If you can't reload that gun quick, that's your fault. Like, I mean, you could put a mag well on a Gen 5 on this thing. You could put a mag well on this, and if you can't reload with this, the mag well's not going to help you. So, I don't know. That's just me, Mr. Vegas, aggressive gambler, you know. Logan Weiler, yes, I like putting the grip plug in the back. I like adding some mass to the gun. I like adding some weight to the gun. She's talking about, do you like putting the grip plugs in the back? Absolutely. Add a few ounces to the frame. Static mass is where it's at. I've also got, on this, I've got, this is an extra like almost 2 ounces on the front. This is not a stock. This is from the Glock store. So it adds a little bit of static weight on the front, and it's a 15-pound spring, not a 17-pound spring. But yeah, I like the weight in there. I absolutely like the weight in there. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I get every question. See if I missed anything. Yeah, Pat, the problem with the rechargeable batteries is exactly that. They have a finite amount of charge, just like an iPhone, and then you're just jacked. So I got it for $200. I'm going to shoot it, and I'm keeping track of stuff. I'm right, and I'll send it to them and be like, dude, if they made this optic with a battery in it, with a 2016 or whatever, and a little side tray, it would be freaking baller. It would absolutely be. I think it's a great, like the dot's designed really well. Olight, if you're Olight, O-Sight, whoever, if you see this, just make one with a freaking battery tray, dude. Like, it's a great sight. I like it. The glass is super freaking clean, and the dot is super crisp. So, let's see if I can find anything else. And then I'll talk SIG stuff. Oh, shit. There you go. He's talking SIG. Let's see, I'm going to go to the bottom, and then I'm going to go to SIG. Okay. Thoughts on ports for EDC? Absolutely, man. I would not port. I would say on an EDC gun, it's fine if you've got let's say you go like a G19 or a G47, something like that. For the smaller guns, like the 43Xs or the 365s, just get a ported barrel. I've been using Rogues forever, Rogue Custom Gunworks. So I've got PMMs. I don't have a Radian yet, a Ramjet yet, but I'll probably get one. You put an external comp. That way you don't compromise the slide velocity, okay? Because on the smaller guns with the heavier springs, you start porting the barrel, you don't have as much slide velocity, you can run into some reliability issues. So I think having an external, compensated barrel with a fixture on the front that is either roll pinned in or screwed in, I think that's the way to go. But for every micro gun that people care for EDC, I would absolutely put a comp on, especially if you get your wife or your girlfriend, or your wife and your girlfriend, who knows? But if you get them all, a 43X, get it comped. And it's the way to go for EDC gun. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Brandon talking about putting a light on the front of a Glock 17 to bounce out the recoil. I just want static mass. I don't want weight. I want weight at the center of the gun. I don't want weight out front. That's why I don't shoot a competition gun with a light on it. I want weight in the middle of the gun, okay? And the weight that I put in here allows the gun to cycle against the mass of the frame. I don't like weight on the front because when you drive the gun and try to stop the gun with the weight on the front, the gun wants to keep going because the body in motion wants to stay in motion. Okay, you're putting weight at the end of a lever. Yeah, it works good for recoil. I don't have a problem with recoil on a freaking 9mm Glock. Okay, now I can understand that if you don't have, if you don't have good forearm strength. It's one of the peculiar freakish things that I do have is forearm strength from, grappling and all that kind of stuff. And then I purposely work. I do a lot of exercise for forearm strength, so that's not an issue for me. But if it works for her, hey, rock on with your bad self. I think I know who you're talking about too. And hey, do it. I'm also, there's not a lot of chicks that are about 5'9", 185 pounds that are fit that shoot this. Or, I mean, so it's like, for me, I don't even think, recoil is not an issue. I have weight because I like the way the gun handles. I can shoot this without it, and it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not worried about holding on to the gun. So, I don't know. This is what it is. Not to short any females out there. There's some hard shooting females that could definitely get after it. But there's certain things that I don't need that maybe they either need or prefer. That is what it is, man. Talk about the SIGs. Talk about SIG. Okay. The 320 thing has been beaten to freaking death, and I'm not going to touch it. There's a ton of stuff out there. There's all kinds of, there's lawsuits. It's the 320 drama, M17, M18. Is there video? Is there not video? That horse has been beaten so badly you can't. It's not recognizable. So I'm not going to touch it. What I'm going to talk about is the freaking dumbass M7 rifle, that 6.8 rifle. Probably one of the dumber things that the Army has done when it comes to procurement of guns. Probably. Okay. It's big, it's heavy, it's expensive. It gives people a fantasy capability, like, oh, you can shoot out to 1,700 yards with it. Like, do you train people to shoot out to 1,700 yards or 700 yards? Do you train people to shoot out to 700 yards? It's like, if there's, I don't know, 10 guys per rifle company that have shot out to 1,000 yards ever, I will kiss my own ass in the town square. Okay, I just don't see it. You're giving them a capability that they don't need. They need a close-in gun. They need something that's light, that's easy to shoot, has a shitload of bullets, and is accurate. We already had that. Okay, we have this. Well, there were engagements where they couldn't. The M4 just didn't have enough range to reach out and blah blah blah. That's why we have machine guns. We have machine guns for that. We have automatic grenade launchers. We have all kinds of other stuff. Okay, we have snipers that do that. They love doing that. It's their thing. Strings like that. Okay, so they built this gun up. It's heavy. It's expensive AF. It's heavy. It's got this integrated optic that breaks all the time. It's got a new proprietary cartridge. It cuts your ammunition load. It's like, really? That's a good idea. And it's a whole new caliber. You're going to transition the Army to a whole new caliber. How about this? All you brilliant Pentagon people, okay? Why not just change from 308, which I think it's a marginal shift. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. But if you have to have 6.8, why not just change machine guns and sniper systems? Because all you do is pull a barrel on a 240 and put a different barrel in because the head is the same. It'll use the same bolt. So why don't you just change that? Okay? And then give sniper systems in 6.8. So now you have a limited part of the military that is using this caliber, and you get to just vet it, see if it's just worth the squeeze. Do we like it? Is it worth transitioning over to? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If you're going to go to that, if you're going to go to 6.8, to me, you're way better suited to go to 6 arc, okay? Which some soft units are. That, to me, would be a much, much, much smarter thing to do. But then you get into politics, and you get into, generals politicking on advisory boards and all kinds of stuff, and it's like, hey, man, that's where the procurement system has always been, it's always been messy, okay? I know a lot more about the YF-22, or the F-22 and the YF-23, which would have been the F-23. I know way more about that than most people, and I'll tell you what, we may not have the best plane we could have had, just say that, okay? And that's from people that work, they're engineers on it. This isn't just from somebody who read a bunch of shit on social media, okay? So you've got a big, heavy rifle. You're transitioning to a whole new caliber when you've got hundreds of thousands of rifles in a different caliber. You've got stockpiles of ammo in different caliber. How long is it going to take to get all that ammo? Is it worth having? Okay, and then you're talking about an Asian threat. So you're going to potentially going to be at shorter distances and jungle stuff like that. Like, it just, to me, it was just a freaking stupid. It is a stupid thing to do. Okay, here's Owen Marin. Does it somewhat make sense if the MG is running the more potent round? Okay, one, I said the MG, if you want to run that round, a 6.8, run in a 240. First of all, they never should have got rid of the saws. The saw, getting rid of the saw was another foolish thing. They didn't, first of all, when you made a Mark 46 and you welded the port that takes rifle magazines closed, that was an ass clown move. Because Mr. Fuller at 2nd Ranger Battalion already figured out that the feed ramps needed to be beveled just a little bit, and he used to bevel them with his own Dremel tool because I stood there and watched him, and 275 saws worked every friggin' time. money, no problem. They ran magazines through it all the time. So that was stupid. They got rid of that. Marine Corps bought the M27, which is another monumental stupid thing. So you give everybody a freaking really expensive, really heavy gun. Okay, great, it's accurate. It's accurate, it's super accurate because some gunner out there was a bullseye guy. Okay, got it, great. The problem is, I'm getting feedback from people that are using them right now saying they don't run properly with the cans on them. And so then they tell them, you know, the short barrels with the cans don't run properly. So then they say, well, just don't use the suppressor. Then why the hell have one? Why have a gun that is issued SL3 complete with a suppressor, but don't use the suppressor because it won't make the gun run? It's like so, it's absurd. Like, they don't talk to anybody in the military when they procure guns. They don't talk to anybody that knows anything about guns. They talk to people that are aficionados for a certain thing. They're bullseye people, or they're long-range shooters, or whatever. It's like, and I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it happen. And it's like, that's why that whole M7 thing to me is absolutely foolish. I think the M27 in the Marine Corps was kind of a bad idea. They're running with it. Some guys like it, some guys don't. Most people that I know, okay, that are actually carrying them, like now, don't like them at all. Would rather have a freaking, would rather have a regular M4. If we were smart, we should have had a 14.5-inch M4 with a mid-length gas system, and that would have been, and we could have had that 20 years ago. But again, the military, when it comes to weapons procurement, it's all political. It gets in the Pentagon, like I said, you get generals on advisory boards, and they're politicking, and hey man, and I've seen that from close range. Okay, I worked with a general on a project who actually told me about giving the whole 411 on advisory boards and Pentagon access and all that, and it's not pretty. Okay. M250 machine gun. We got a machine gun with no quick change barrel. We have a machine gun without a quick change barrel. Who's the good idea guy who thought that was great? Who thought it was a great idea? Okay? Because I can tell you right now, in heaven, John Basilone and Mitchell Page hate you. They think you're a clown. Anyway, why would you ever do that? I've talked to people that are machine gunners that said, when you shoot it, okay, when you shoot that, as soon as that gun gets hot, you can't see past it because it's glowing, and you can't see it with night vision, and you can't see past it with thermals because it's hot, hence thermal. So you have a super expensive, niche caliber machine gun without a quick change barrel that doesn't work good if you shoot it hard. Like, I just look at this stuff and I'm like, it doesn't. When I look and go, the same company got the pistol, the rifle, and the machine gun contract, I'm already a little concerned. Okay, I'm already a little concerned. So, yeah, I think that's that is going to go down in history. I will be proven right. I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever. Okay, whatsoever. That especially if we get in another dust up somewhere, you watch them dust off all the M4s. Okay, carrying. I mean, you're carrying 20-round mags instead of 30-round mags. Okay, just 33% less capacity. Why? So that you can theoretically take a shot at distance that you're not trained to take. And there's another great, wonderful one. Well, if you the 5.56 won't penetrate Chinese body armor or whatever body armor. Okay, great. That's awesome. Cute. Sweet. Great. Love it. Okay? So let's say, for the sake of discussion, we make a round that will do that. How long will it take for them to find a way to defeat that round? And here's an easier way to defeat their body armor. Shoot them somewhere that's not armored. I don't know. I mean, it sounds crazy to me, but it works. It does every time. Okay? The idea that you're trying to create a round to defeat armor, which can be upgraded, but your bullet is what it is. Your gun is what it is. So now you've taken on all of this logistical nightmare so that you can defeat something that they can upgrade and defeat your system with. Like, stop it. Like, that's why the military, when it comes to procurement of weapons, sucks beyond compare. Okay? And it's like, it is what it is. Like, the fact that nobody understood. I talked to a guy that was on the adoption of a major weapon system. Okay? We'll just leave it at that. And it became a worldwide weapon system. And I started quoting peak gas port pressures. You're talking about 5.56. You'll get 13,000 PSI at the port on a rifle. It's 18,000 PSI on mid-length. It's 26,000 PSI going 17.1% faster, or reaching the carrier 17.1% faster. So when you go from a rifle to a carbine gas system, you've got double the peak gas port pressure, and it arrives at the carrier 17% faster. statistically 17.1% at 52,000 PSI. Yes, I studied this. Yes, I did it for an organization. Okay? I am one of like a handful of people that actually knew that when we were talking about it. Okay? And it's because people just don't know that. It doesn't matter. You just cut the barrel back, whatever. Just make a shorter barrel. It's like they also didn't realize how much reliability would be enhanced and how much softer the guns would shoot if you just went from a carbon gas system to a mid-length gas system. And take an inch and a half, put an inch and a half on the barrel, and the velocity gains would have made it unnecessary to have a 20-inch gun or a 14.5. It's like nobody ever, everything has to go through 19 hoops and get signed off by 26 different people, and then somebody has to get their palms greased to get it. That's why we end up with issues that we have now. Why we end up with a super heavy rifle that's incredibly expensive that, oh yeah, the optics break all the time. And this is from people using it. This is people telling me personally that I know, staying in front of me, from light infantry units in the Army going, yes, these break all the time. Yes, when I'm in charge of my machine gun section, I can't shoot more than a belt at night without the gun glowing enough to defeat my night vision goggles and my thermals. These are people like, they're family, literally. Okay? So that's why I look at this stuff, I'm like, what? When is the military going to actually ask someone that knows something about guns? Okay? Not a guy that's a geek that like, I love building guns because I'm a gun geek and I geek out on that. It's great. Why don't you ask someone that actually uses them and let people honestly test them? And when you have feedback, I can't imagine that any machine gun team would want a machine gun without a quick change barrel. And yet the biggest brains in the universe decided that that's what you need. So that one's going to go down in history in a negative way. A big heavy rifle that recoils. We have a 6.8, and I've read it in, I don't know, probably 10 different articles. Oh, it recoils the same or less as 5.56. Okay, why don't you explain to me how that math problem works out? You have a super high pressure 6.8 round in a 9-pound rifle. Okay, it's a 9-pound rifle compared to 5.56 and a 7-pound rifle. And you're going to tell me that it recoils less. I'm like, man, the math ain't mathing for me, homie. So that's why when I said the whole SIG thing, it's like I said, the M7, M17, M18, 320 drama, that's its own animal. And everybody's seeing that on the gram. But we start looking at the pattern again. It's a freaking problem. Who's that? Sam Fisher, captain, apparently is receiving backlash for publishing his white paper at the Modern Day Marine Symposium. Of course he is. Of course he is. Because guess who's got all 3 contracts? And guess who's holding everybody by the danglies? Because, hey man, when you get out, how much would you love to be on the advisory board for these guys? They have every contract. That's a ton of money. That's people's bonuses and stock options and all that. This isn't anything new. It's just so blatant now. We have one company making all the guns for the Army. That is a freaking problem. That is a huge problem, especially when there's so many glaringly obvious issues. Okay? Yeah, Sam, carrying the M7 while isolated on an island in the Pacific sounds miserable. Yeah, it does. And that's a whole nother topic. Don't even get me started on this whole, the littoral. We're gonna put 27 Marines on an island surreptitiously, and then they're gonna hit Chinese shipping. Yeah, they will once, and then the Chinese know they're there. They're gonna smoke them. And they're going, oh, we've got supporting arms. And do you not think they're going to jam every bit of radio communications? Then you've got Wake Island all over again. You've got 50 of them in the Pacific. You freaking clown. It just, I'd be interested to know, do you not think that the Chinese won't do that? Do you not think that now that they know they can read an open source about the littoral, the strategy for the littoral units, are they well-trained units? Hell yeah, they are. They're doing some amazing shit. It's nothing to do with the Marines. The strategy is just like give everything away and then just rely on supporting arms and comms. And then when you lose comms, you lose supporting arms. And when you lose supporting arms, you're just 36 guys or 58 guys or 122 guys on an island about to get overrun by a gajillion Chinese guys. You can't argue it. Because what would you do if you were the guy, if you were the Chinese admiral, and one of your ships just got smoked by a missile off a little island. First of all, I'm going to cut off every bit of comms. I'm going to scramble every bit of comms. I'm going to hammer that island with a bunch of ordnance, and I'm going to send, I don't know, 2,000 guys to land on it and step on every inch of ground and make sure everybody there is gone. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I like, do you not see that coming? Do you not? Do you think you can control the whole, like, you can control all of the freaking satellites and all the comms and everything? You can guarantee that they're going to be able to? Because if not, then you're just some dude on an island. You're 37 guys on some little island waiting for the end to come. It's just stupid. It's just freaking stupid. I understand the concept behind it, but the validity of it, it's a one and done. You're sacrificing them. They're speed bumps. You're saying, okay, we're going to put you in the Pacific and you're going to be a speed bump. And I'm like, man, unless there's some magical shit that nobody knows about, which I don't believe there is, that's a problem. And I'm like, but you know what? Somebody's got to put it on their fucking OER support form. Somebody's got to be the good idea guy. Okay? It's the same people that said we weren't occupying Iraq when we were occupying Iraq. Like, we're not occupiers. Like, I remember being one of them, and I was like, we got 152,000 people here. That's an occupation. Just saying. Okay? Just saying. You know? So, yeah. I'm ranting now. People that know me know, they know exactly that. Yeah, they're speed bumps, dude. I don't know, counting coup. I don't know how in the 21st century is scary. Yeah, it is. I'm trying to see if there are any. Yeah, there was a period in time when Colt had the M16 and 1911. They stopped making 1911s in like 1944. There were no more made. I think it was 44. They stopped making those. Were in the inventory, and they didn't have a pistol made by the same company that made the rifle. We didn't have 1911s. We had 1911s that were made by Singer Sewing Machine and Ithaca and freaking Remington Rand and all that stuff. They were made by everybody. They were the design of Colt, and then they stopped. I believe they stopped making them in like 44 or something like that. Maybe 45, but by the end of the war, they didn't make any more. They had so many backlog, they didn't make any more, and we were still using M1 Garands, and then we went to M14s, and then we went to Colt M16s, but they weren't making. They were no longer contracted to make more 1911s because they had so many. So it's kind of, I see your point, but I kind of don't see your point. Okay, we're talking about all of those. We're talking about pistol, rifle, machine gun, all brand new, all from the same company. That's just suspect to me. You know, maybe it's all above board. Maybe everything's good in the hood, but it is very suspect to me. Very, very suspect to me. Okay. Would you feel comfortable appendix carrying a P365 given the uncertainty with the issues of 320? I've never seen any issues with 365. I've never seen any. Not that there were some issues with the trigger bar initially. The first 3 P65s I saw, none of them worked. They wouldn't fire. The striker would drop, but the trigger bar was not pushing the striker block up high enough, and so that was an issue that they remedied and called back. I've never seen any issues with safety brought about by anybody on 365. On the 320, that's a different story. I've seen a lot of it. Yeah, Sam Fisher. Yeah, if you standardize URG, it would be great. I mean, to me, the idea that the Army's going to have a 6.8 and the Marine Corps is going to have 5.56 right off the bat, that's stupid. And people talk about theoretical capabilities that a certain weapon system gives them, not recognizing the practical capabilities that the existing weapon system gives them. And I mean, look how long it took to go for the Marine Corps to go to 14.5-inch guns. And they still have a bunch of 20-inch guns, but they fought it, because it's a legacy thing. And everybody should have a 16-inch mid-length gun. All services, okay, should have had a 16-inch mid-length gun. And it would have been a better shooting gun. It would have been more reliable and easier on the parts. It would have been a better gun. And it would have been better ballistically than a 14.5 and damn near as good as a freaking 20-inch gun. But it's like, you know, that everything takes forever to get cleared and tested and authorized and put out for 20 different bids and all that. So I just and I get, like I said, I get ranty. I'm feeling kind of. I did a hard circuit run today, so maybe I'm just being pouty. I just can't stand when I see that crap, and I'm like, there are problems with the whole concept behind some of these things. Like I said, a brand new, untested proprietary ammunition, a brand new, untested proprietary rifle, a brand new. When I say untested, I mean tested over decades, over where we've had this system in existence. We built it from the ground up. Here you go. I'm like, man, I got issues with that. I think that's kind of crazy. I think the no quick change barrel on a crew served is freaking stupid. That is just stupid. I don't know anybody that thinks that's a good idea. That's a machine gunner. I don't know any 0331 that goes, yeah, man, I wish I had a non-quick change barrel on my machine gun. That'd be awesome. Nope. Nobody. Said no machine gunner ever. Okay. Let me see if there's any more. And then CQBR 12.5 inch M4. I'll tell you right now, that's Aero Racing, the best to me, the best sub-carbine length, okay, rifle is a 12.5. I get 2,800 feet per second out of mine. It's super freaking accurate. It shoots really good. It's proportionate. The 12.5 barrel and the carbine gas system are proportionally almost identical to a 20-inch gun with a rifle gas system. Like they run great. They got great ballistics, and they're only that much longer than the CQBR, the Mark 18. So it's like it's a better gun. It's a better gun. You get 10.5-inch guns with carbine gas systems are on the fringe of not working, which is why they had the big modulator on the front, like they call it a flash hider on the Car 15s, the XM 170-72s. The 177s were 10.5s with that modulator on the front. The E2s were an 11-inch because it gave them better gas pressure. And those actually had those giant, what they call flash hiders, actually had helical flutes inside to give you back pressure. So I sat and talked to one of the guys that worked at, when I worked at Shot for Colt. I went into their little custom little skunk works, and the dude was cool as hell. He had been a Marine in Vietnam and stuff, and I just talked about all the different stuff. So I had a window on the world for that. And 11.5-inch gun, if you look at the original SBR of all time, is an 11.5-inch gun. The most successful SBR in format is a Colt 11.5-inch gun. And they run great. Colt Commandos run freaking great. Like, I mean, if you wanted to have like for armor and for officers and all that, have an 11.5-inch gun and then have a 16-inch gun for regular ground guys, for infantry guys, they're perfect. They will all run good. They have all interchangeable parts, everything. The only difference is the gas tube. But it's like, the military does not think at that level. And when it comes to the leadership looking to adopt stuff, I've watched it over the years and watched what they adopt. And you're like, who thought that was a good idea? Like, you look at the H&K pistol, that H&K 45 that did everything they asked for and nothing that anybody really wanted. I know some Navy guys that have used it, but it's kind of a niche thing. We're like, I don't know anybody. I shot it in the 90s before we went to Russia in the late 90s, and I was like, what a freaking boat anchor. I don't want that thing. I mean, it made no sense to me. And you could put a can on a Beretta way easier, and they cycled because the barrel doesn't tilt. It's a bunch of technical shit, but I just thought it was a stupid gun. I really did. And nobody ever used it. It sat in arms rooms forever. Okay. Can't do gun drill. Target folks, they can't do gun drill. Oh my God, that's fucking insulting. I'd be interested to see, Pat, if the 320 gets replaced with the 365, because whatever they did with the 365, it works. But the 320, that's got issues, man. It's got I don't know what the issues are. I've talked to a couple people that I know that shoot them a lot, and that their agencies use them. It's like, I don't know if it is a tolerance issue, or if they because when you tolerance stack, you've got a series of tolerances that all have to balance out. You can't have 2 tolerances or 3 tolerances all in one direction. And so I don't know if they tolerance stack and it doesn't work or what, but it's like they got some issues with that gun because people, I've never seen any outcry about a gun like that. So it's like, I've got 3 of them, and they haven't blown up, and the 365, like I said, my wife shot the crap out of her 365. There's no issues whatsoever. It runs like a champ. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think that that is a topic for that is being litigated right now, literally. But like I said, the idea that you've got that, and that's got issues. You got the M7 that everybody I know on the ground doesn't like. You've got an M250 machine gun that everybody I know that actually is a machine gunner doesn't like. I'm like, we got some systemic, things to deal with here. So, but yeah. And I ran. I'll probably get a call from somebody going, "Oh, what are you saying? You're bashing them." I'm like, I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just calling it out, man. It is what it is. So, anyway, let's see. Look and see if I got any more. What? Real harsh habit. I'm gonna have to research that. I didn't realize that their export guns had quick change barrels. Because I don't know of any country that would buy a machine gun without a freaking quick change barrel. I don't know why the Army left that out. I got to figure that out. Because that's stupid beyond compare. You go, oh, we don't need a quick change barrel. Yeah, because some freaking wingnut general that authorized it didn't think it was necessary. Hey, freaking idiots. I'm glad that what's his name? Hegseth is freaking getting rid of a bunch of generals. Because there's so many out there. We had the imaginary army of the North in Fort Lewis. It was like, I forgot what the army was called, something. It had a big A patch, and there was like a general in charge of it. There's nobody there. It was cadre. It's like, there's all kinds of people. There's all kinds of generals that do nothing. I know a bunch of generals, and they're all warfighters. They're all ground dudes, man. They're all legit. But there's a ton of generals out there. Once you get your star, you're a made man. You're like a total made man. Like, you're going to get out, and you're going to get on advisory boards and make your money, and that was told to me by a retired general that I worked on a project with. Retired as a 4-star, I believe. So like that, I'm not talking out of school. If I said his name, everyone here would know who he is. Okay. It's and I won't say his name because you don't need to know, and he's no longer with us. But rest his soul. He's a good man too, damn good man. But yeah, I know the whole scam. I know the game. I know what it is, and it's best retirement package ever. So anyway, okay, so that's that. It is what it is. Yeah. Big J, target focused. She wanted to competition, but would never carry one. Yeah, there's just too much weird shit that goes on, man. Too many weird things that go on with that. It's just like, And I've seen the videos of it. I'm like, that's why I'm just leaving it out there. I'm not. There's no way. I mean, like I said, I've got 3 of them. I got an X carry, I've got Legion, and I've got an M17. And I have no issues with them. I would never carry an appendix, ever. Never. Nope. Not until we figure out what's going on. Something is wrong. We got to figure out what it is. Okay? I don't really care, like in the sense that I don't care what the problem is. Let's just figure it out and fix it. But the idea that we're just going to act like everything's cool when I've never somebody, if you post it, just type it in here right now. If you know of another gun that you've heard this much about, type it in here right now, because I've never ever heard of that. Okay. Can you provide insight into why the Geisley Surefire rifle didn't pan out at the unit? No, I cannot. I mean, I could, but I won't. Yeah, Sam, you're not even on the right trail, Sam, with that. So I would, whatever you're thinking, just Control Alt delete that. Yeah, well, if you run in your fixed-rated chassis, Kurt Kinnan, I like those. I think those chassis are awesome. I shoot with the guy that owns the company, so I need to get one of those. I think it'd be fun. I want to get it for a 365 though. Just got to get 20-round mags. But anyway, all right. I've ranted. I've bashed the Army procurement system, generals in general, and shown you my $131 gun belt, which I'll show you again. $131. That's it. You're ready to shoot USPSA. And I'm like, I got it. Might be a flex to shoot a parts gun, a complete parts gun, like a $300 parts gun. Maybe I should do that. Yeah. If you think I should do that, like somebody posted, should I shoot my 43X, or should I shoot my parts gun with my $131 freaking USPSA belt? That's what I need to know. Flex reader, nice. Wayne Grove. Damn, Wangro, it has been a while. Yeah, it was a long time back. Yeah, that was, I think it was before 2014 actually, but any old way. Okay. Shoot the parts gun with irons. Okay, I got called out. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot. Then there we go. Audience approval. I will shoot that, like, day one. I work at the refinery and have 3 kids and one on the way, and I can't afford all kind of fancy shit. So I'm gonna shoot the cheap ass belt that I have, and I'm gonna shoot. Let's make up a story about it. I'm gonna shoot a gun that I bought from one of my buddies, or I got from one of my buddies because he dented my truck and he owed me for it. Some shit like that. Some crazy ass story. This thing actually shoots good though. It actually shoots good. But yeah, I'll shoot that then. It is. I have been notified. So yeah. All right. So it is 21:16 my time. So I am going to shut this down. Ranted. I covered all the questions that I got today. Still pushing on the micros. Definitely learning a lot. Oh, one last thing. Going back and forth from gun to gun I think is really beneficial. And Pat and I are doing a course, an LE course up in San Mateo that shoots we do ODP, off-duty pistol, the first day, and then we do duty gun the second day. And it's to show you, one, what you can do with your off-duty gun, how actual capable these guns are, because most people won't shoot them. They'll just get a 43 to stick in your waistband. And then when you go to your full-size gun, you're like, oh, shiz, this thing, I can bang with this thing. You start really recognizing what you can do with your full-size gun. This has taught me so much about grip that when I shoot a full-size gun, it's like, dude, it's a layup. So yeah, that's why I still like shooting both guns back and forth. But I'm doing this because it's the best-selling gun in the freaking country right now. The Micro's the best-selling guns, and the beauty of it is it makes me work really hard. So I'm still trying to post the same kind of times and scores, shooting bill drills and stuff with this, which is freaking hard. And then when I pick up a full-size gun, I'm like, yeah, I'm back. So anyway, I am going to drink some tea and probably go sit and turn on the TV for a little bit, hang out with the señorita. Speaking of which, I'm just gonna throw some props her way. Today she was freaking banging 17 splits at the range with her mechanic and getting good hits, getting most all alphas on it at 7 to 10 yards. So I'm gonna post a little video of her. She's getting good. I'm pushing the speed with her, but it's refining her grip. She's tiny. I mean, so like Cam, you've seen her before. Some of you people have shot with her or been out the range. She's tiny, but she can still get after it because it's working on that grip. She's like my guinea pig. I'm like, try this. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, try this. But she's getting good. So I'm gonna post a video. I'm gonna post a video of her shooting 17 splits. It's pretty legit, pretty damn legit. So, but any old way. Well, it is still it's dark out, which means it's time for everybody to go sleepies. All right, cats, kitties. I am going to call it, and I will be posting things here and there about I'll post stuff at the match. I'll post the parts gun. This is the most dope ass parts gun too, because it's like all kinds of random shit. Yeah, and I'm still going to be on the micro trail. So jump on, you get a chance. Free coppers up in San Mateo area. That course is going to be pretty baller. It's going to be at the sheriff's range. We've got Pat and I got coming up. We still have a couple slots left at the PMO instructor course and the PMO operator course, which are back to back. Like there are 25, like through 28. Both courses are going to go back to back at Long Beach. So those are still a few slots left in those. So hop on the website and if you're down with it, because Pat and I will be teaching those together the whole time, which will be pretty nice. And they're good. They're not ginormous. They're very, very reasonable size classes. So you basically around 10 each. So we get a lot of good time with y'all. So jump in there and check it out. And everybody be cool. Go. Don't forget to dry fire and stay safe out there.